So you're new to Genshin, you're doing some 10 pulls on the current weapon banner, which I don't think you should be doing until blah, 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 the spiel that I normally say at the beginning of these videos. But you get the Dockhand's assistant. So in this video, we're going to look at this weapon, its stats, what it does, and who it can be good for. So it does get up your HP percent as its main stat. Its passive, Sea Shanty. When the wielder is healed or heals others, they will gain a stoic symbol that lasts up to 30 seconds, up to a maximum of 3 symbols. When using the elemental skill or burst, all symbols will be consumed and the roused effect will be granted for 10 seconds. For each symbol consumed, it will gain 40 elemental mastery, and 2 seconds after the effect occurs, 2 energy per symbol will be restored for said character. It can occur every 15 seconds, and symbols can be gathered even when the character is not on the field. What does all of this mean? What this means, to break it down into a very simple thing, when the character that has this equipped heals another character or is healed themselves, they will gain a symbol, an effect, up to 3. When you use your skill or your burst, it will activate them, giving 40 EM to the character with the weapon per symbol, and 2 energy per symbol as well afterwards. It can happen when they're on the field, not on the field. That is the essential thing of this. So what we're going to do is we are going to take our lovely Layla, because in Layla we trust, and we are going to show the effect of this weapon. So by the way, don't these wings look really, really good on Layla? They look, I got them specifically for Layla. They look so good. First, we are going to look at Layla's stats. She has an elemental mastery of 135. Once she has taken some damage, we're going to go to Kuki and let Kuki's skill heal 3 times. Just because Layla has been healed doesn't mean that it activates the stacks. If we then use her skill and check, we now have 255 EM. That is 120 extra EM than what we had before. We have to use the skill to activate it. Just because she was healed, it didn't activate it. We had to use the skill or burst to activate it. Having this extra EM can be good for a lot of characters that do reactions that are reliant on the increase in EM, such as Superconduct, Hyper Bloom, Burgeon, things like that. So now we're going to talk about some different characters that this weapon can be good on. Now, we used Layla in the example. I do run Layla with Arlecchino, so having the increase in EM can be good, especially because Layla might be stealing some of those melts, but it's mainly because Layla's shield scales on HP. So we want as much HP as possible. My Layla has 45k HP. Her shield does not break whenever I'm using it with Arlecchino, right? She's the second best shielder after Zhongli. Nobody can persuade me otherwise. That is why we put our trust in Layla. This weapon is one of 2 in the game, or this sword is one of 2 in the game that gets up your HP percent. The other one is Nilou's signature key. Currently, those 2 weapons are the only 2 that have an HP main stat. So this is a very good weapon to have, not only for them, but for a couple of other characters. Next, we have Kuki Shinobu. Now, if you are going to be wanting to run a healer Kuki, where she is mainly just applying electro and healing your on-field character, not so much triggering like hyper blooms, which she is better at than just healing and support, but you can do a healer build Kuki Shinobu. If I give Layla's artifacts to Kuki and have a 4-piece tenacity Kuki with this HP sword, she's healing like 4,500 per pulse, which can be very, very good. And her pulse will trigger the 4-piece tenacity effect. I'm kind of getting off topic, but it's going to increase her healing because Kuki's healing scales with HP, and her burst damage because her burst damage also scales with HP. Next, we are going to have another shielder, and that is going to be Kirara. Kirara can use this weapon, especially if you're going to be running like Alhaitham with Harbinger of Dawn, and you want a second Dendro character and shielder because of Harbinger of Dawn. Having this weapon on Kirara can be very, very good because it means that her shields are going to be much, much stronger. So if you are running where you want a Dendro shielder, having this weapon on Kirara can be very, very good. With 2-piece tenacity, 2-piece VG, you don't want to run 2-piece, or you don't want to run like 4-piece tenacity. You want 2-piece and 2-piece for Kirara to get her HP up even further. Now, before we look at the final character that this weapon is good for, we're going to look at one that it's not. Chi-Chi is a sword-wielding healer. However, Chi-Chi's healing is based on her attack, not her HP. So it wouldn't be a very good weapon for her. You would want her to have an attack weapon so that way you would increase her healing there, not HP. That is going to be an example of a character you might think it would be good on because of the passive being about healing others, but Chi-Chi wants attack, not HP. The final character that can use this weapon is going to be, of course, Nilou, whose signature weapon gets up HP. Now, Nilou does want as much HP as possible, trying to get as close or above 70,000 HP because of how she works in a Bountiful Core team. So having a weapon, one of only 2 swords in the game, to get up HP is phenomenal for Nilou. If you don't have this weapon, you're going to be running like Sacrificial, right? If you don't have Ki or you don't have Dockhand's Assistant, you're going to be running like Sacrificial Sword. So having one of the 2 HP weapons, this one being a 4-star and currently on the banner, if you're planning on getting Nilou, this is a phenomenal weapon to have for her if you don't think you'll be able to get Ki. If you are running Nilou in a team, a Bountiful Core team with like Yao Yao or Coco, which is what I'm planning to do, then you will be able to trigger the passive and get EM just in case Nilou steals some of the blooms, right? Like you don't want on-field Nilou. I mean, of course you want on-field Nilou. She's gorgeous, she's pretty. We all love to see her dance. But because you don't build her EM, you want another character creating the blooms, right? Nahida, or in my case, I'm gonna have on-field Coco. So you want to build Nilou with HP and get as much HP as possible on Nilou to get the full effect of her Bountiful Core. So this weapon is going to be very, very good for her if you don't have Ki. So that is going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, do be sure to leave it down in the comments. Myself or somebody else will be sure to answer it, and I'll see you in the next one.